Frosted Blood. A novel, written by Larry Pellitteri and read by Lian Yao. They hooked up their gear and anchored their ropes. As they descended, the air became cooler and moist, and the cave opened up into a large, cone-shaped room that was almost perfectly round at the bottom and tilted in like a teepee toward the top. At the base of the cavern was a small, oval pond. They paused for a moment to listen to the hypnotic sounds of drops plunking into the water. Continuing on, they reached the floor and unhooked their lines. Michael motioned with his chin toward a small camping chair. "Welcome to my office," he said. "Solar generators above provide power, and at the cave's entrance I have security cameras, so I know what's going on while I'm down here." "Seriously?" Emma asked. "How did you get permission to set up the equipment?" "I gave myself permission," Michael said. "And besides, nobody comes around here anyway." "So, why did you do all this?" Emma asked, scanning the cavern. "I did all this before my grandparents died, so I could do research without them knowing. They were always worried about my obsession with the crystal." A strange voice screeched from a speaker. Everybody turned and stared at Michael. He ran over to a little square metal box and rotated one of several knobs. The noise stopped. "I also have a ham radio," Michael said. His face flushed. "I like to listen in on what's happening in different parts of the world." Everyone faintly smiled and then continued to look around. "This place never floods?" Sophie asked, watching droplets sprinkle into the pond. "I've been coming down here for more than 2 years," Michael said. "The water level always stays the same." Emma's phone chimed. She dug into her right front pocket, pulled it out, and glanced at the screen. "You can get a signal down here?" she asked, placing the phone back into her pocket. "I installed a digital cell antenna and a satellite dish for an internet connection." Emma rolled her eyes. "Of course, I should have known." She looked up the cavern. "I'm going to head back. I'm invited to West Von Connor's home for—" She quickly placed the palm of her hand over her mouth, and her eyes switched back and forth between Michael and Sophie. "Wow, you really must be a VIP," Michael said, thinking, why is an intern going to a billionaire's home? Emma looked at Sophie and then at Michael. She smiled, but didn't say a word. As Michael watched her pretty smile, it dawned on him that she'd had other plans all along. "I guess dinner with us tonight was never an option," he said dryly. "Well, not really," Emma said. The moment became awkward and uncomfortable. The four of them said little as they packed up and hurried up the rope using their hands and feet, pulling and pushing in a frog-like motion. Michael and Emma walked back quietly, while Christopher and Sophie followed, holding on tightly to each other's hands. Listening to Sophie's and Christopher's giggling, Michael thought about Emma. She became even more of a mystery, and he became even more confused.